March 22nd. Let's get into it. We got a few games. The first game is the Denver Nuggets beat the Wizards. Yep, the Wizards out of the playoffs, so there's gonna be some resting, I think, for Porzingis, for Bradley Beal. For back-to-backs, there's no point playing once they're out of the playoffs. Jokic, of course, continues to be amazing. 31 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Jamal Murray played all right. Denver Nuggets only have 2 games this week, but next week they have 4 games. So some of these guys like KCP, you gotta think about picking them up. Or Michael Porter Jr. If he was dropped, he had a huge game here, hit 6 threes. But Aaron Gordon maybe for a streaming option next week. But all these guys should have been dropped this week, right? Because they only have 2 games. Also, it depends on how many acquisitions you have on your team. For the Washington Wizards, Porzingis continue to be amazing. 25 points in 22 minutes because the blowout, I guess. And also, they have nothing to play for. I feel like Porzingis is going to get some resting down the line. The next few games, maybe. So Danny Advia maybe is a pickup we need to pay attention to. Dylan Wright maybe we need to pay attention to if Monty Morris ends up missing some time. With no Bradley Beal this game, Dylan Wright only played 20 minutes as well. Daniel Gafford continue rostering him. But at Danny Advia, Dylan Wright is the guy I'm paying most attention to, and then Danny Advia. If Beal, Kyle Kuzma, Porzingis end up missing more time. Let's go to the next game. The New York Knicks, they've been losing. They lost another game, 120-127 to Miami Heat, but this is a high-scoring game. So Knicks did score a lot. Just didn't play enough defense. They lost 2 straight. The Miami Heat, they are the 7th seed. I mean, every single year, they're just in that playoff. They're just in the playoff every year, but, they get bounced in the first or second round. They are 40-34, and they are only the 7th seed. Very interesting. There's a big gap between 7th and 8th also. Okay, so Julius Randle had 9 assists, didn't play all that well, only 15 points. Jalen Brunson had 25 points. I think if you were streaming Emmanuel Quickly, if you're streaming Josh Hart, you were streaming Isaiah Hartenstein. If you need those guys next week, sure, but this week is because this is the last game for the Knicks this week, so drop them all if you need to get games in to win your playoff matchup. It sucks because Josh Hart been playing super well. I mean, even Julius Randle, you're gonna think about dropping. So a couple of things you gotta consider. If you drop these guys, can you beat whoever your opponent is next week? Is it absolutely necessary to drop them? Right, just a couple of things. Right, if you're on the verge of losing and you really like, everybody can be dropped, even Jalen Brunson. I assume like once you get to the finals, not everybody's gonna be streaming, so you should have a lot more talent on the waiver wire as well. For the Miami Heat, just a great game for Jimmy Butler. 35 points, 4 steals, and 9 assists. Great efficiency as well. Bam played okay. And Miami Heat is another team that they only have 2 games this week. Oh, what am I saying? The Knicks play again on Thursday. Yeah, drop them after tonight. Not yesterday is Wednesday. The Miami Heat, I think they only have 2 games this week, so probably dropped a lot of these guys already. Tyler Hero only 22 points with 4 assists, with 4 threes, nothing else. Not much to talk about for this Miami Heat team. Kyle Lowry's back. He's been a job for a while now. He just splits minutes with him. Not even getting the full minutes, which really sucks. The next game, the Indiana Pacers beat the Toronto Raptors. So Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton was questionable coming into this game. He ends up missing some time, and guess who went off? Andrew Nembhard. 25 points, 10 assists. Great stuff. I think as long as Tyrese Halliburton is out, we can comfortably streaming him. They have some back-to-backs coming up. Buddy Hield, he's still healthy, still playing. Sure, if you need threes, just go at him. Miles Turner had just 1 block, 6 for 9. So this Pacers team, there's a lot of talent actually, like fantasy talent. Isaiah Jackson is the guy. If Miles Turner ends up missing one of the back-to-backs, you got to stream Isaiah Jackson for blocks and rebounds, and he gets a lot of steals as well. Benedict Mathurin Manchester started 20 minutes. Not really. Oh shit, Brissett. This guy, I remember a couple seasons back. Give him some minutes, he can go off as well. But for now, Andrew Nemhart is the guy we want to stream. Same thing with TJ McConnell. He only got 23 minutes. Well, that's assuming Tyrese Halliburton continues to be out. But he has 7 assists and 2 steals and a block, so still amazing line out of him. For the Toronto Raptors, OG Anunoby had 4 steals but struggled from the field. Pirtle continues to be amazing after the trade with 2 steals and 2 blocks, 23 points, and 83% from the field. All these just absolutely amazing. Pascal Siakam also had a really great game against the Pacers, but they somehow lost at home. Will Barton started. Interesting. Because both Scotty Barnes and Gary Trent are out. He's not really fantasy relevant. Fred VanVleet had 11 assists. Chris Boucher, yes, this is Chris Boucher time. Pay attention to him a little bit. If Scotty and if they continues to be out, stream him. He can come in, block a couple shots, grab some rebounds. But it's also very possible he gets no minutes the very next game. So just be aware of that. Let's go to the next game. This is the premier matchup. The Warriors beat the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, they're just... The Mavericks, they're just been losing games after games. The Warriors are not supposed to win any road games. Their road game record is incredibly bad. Steph Curry only 20 points and 2 threes, but had 13 assists. That's not bad. Klay Thompson, after Curry comes back, yeah, he wasn't putting up averaging 25. Jordan Poole, 16 points, 6 assists. Droppable, absolutely droppable player. Dante DiVincenzo, only 24 minutes. I would keep him, to be honest. He provided a lot of categories. And here we go. Finally, Draymond Green has a game like this. I just feel like it's an effort thing. This is a big game. He put up 3 steals and 4 blocks. On the year, he's averaging like less than a steal and less than a block, right? And 8 assists here. Amazing stuff out of Draymond, but I just don't think he's going to do this very often, right? Back then, 2-3 years ago, he could do this every 5 games or so, have 3 steals, 3 blocks. Now it's... How many times this happened? Maybe twice this year. For the Dallas Mavericks, Luka comes back with 30 points, 17 assists. Amazing. 7 rebounds and a steal, but not much else. But, a lot of guys we could stream on this team, like Jaden Hardy, as long as Kyrie is out. With Tim Hardaway Jr. out, so they need some guard minutes. But he only got 25 minutes, actually. So next game, he could just be not doing anything. But because Kyrie and Luka, they get such high usage, the rest of the guys really just catch threes and nobody really get many defensive stats. Christian Wood is only the guy like I would consider stream for some rebounds, for some blocks. If he's on the waiver wire, of course, he come off the bench, play 25 minutes. That's not bad. The next game, the Philadelphia Sixers, Joel Embiid left the game. That would hurt his MVP chances, I think, if he ends up missing some time. So if you got Embiid, that's one great thing going for you is that he wants to get the MVP. So any game he misses or Sixers lose a game, Jokic, you know how Jokic is, always healthy. So, yeah. But the rest of the guys stepped it up. DeAnthony Melton, amazing, 3 steals and a block. He just finds a way to get minutes. There's always something going on with this team. One guy is out, Harden is also out this game. So, absolutely roster, obviously, once he gets this minutes. Tyrese Maxey hit 4 threes, had 21 points, not bad. Tobias Harris had 8 assists, which is surprising. 9 rebounds, 3 threes, 20 points. Not bad, but DeAnthony Melton, if he's on the waiver wire, go grab him in a playoff matchup. But again, like if you're looking for some field goal, he's not the guy. But he provided pretty much everything else. Provide so many categories. For the Bulls, Another bad loss. Patrick Beverly goes 0 for 5. He can still be a streaming target if they got a back to back. I don't think they do actually. Zach LaVine, 16 points. Nikola Vucevic had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and a steal. Due to the blowout, the starter minutes was a bit low. Patrick Williams been starting. I think if he starts, if Caruso continues to be out, you could stream him for some defensive stats. He can give you surprises sometimes. DeRozan goes 0 for 7. Wow, what a horrible game. DeRozan goes 0 for 7, hit 4 free throws. Patrick Beverly goes 0 for 5. But, the Bulls are still holding on to the 10th spot. Indiana Pacers are still 1.5 games behind. Let's go to the next team, the Houston Rockets. It's a high-scoring game. They only lost by 5, and Ja Morant is back. He's going to, carve out more minutes as time goes on. For the Rockets, this squad, so much potential. Jalen Green, I think it's the same thing last year. The last couple weeks of the regular season, he started balling. 32 points and hit all his free throws. 3 threes, 10 for 18 from the field. Great stuff. He's giving us hope next year. But he's not the guy that I'm going to take early next year. I feel like his game is not going to take him inside the top 100, I think. After that, it's okay because he gave you a lot of scoring. It's just the efficiency is very, very rough. Kevin Porter Jr. had a triple-double. Great stuff for him as well. Hit 2 threes. Şengün. The Grizzlies, they're known for their defense, but the young Rockets scored, shot 52% from the field as a team. Jabari Smith is okay, and Kenyon Martin Jr. had a huge game. 31 points, 12 for 18. And, Taro Eason still got 27 minutes off the bench, so I think he's still on much roster. No defensive stats this game. He also had 5 personal fouls. But he's so good in fantasy, so don't drop him after one game like this. And, of course, in the playoffs, sometimes it's really not about, it's about the especially if you're in a category league, it's about like what category, like if you need threes, right? And Taro Eason is the guy that makes the least threes on your team, then you drop him, right? You try to move on and win. For the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. just amazing offensively. He's just being amazing. 37 points, maybe because Ja wasn't and Dylan Brooks was out, so he just have such a high usage. But also it was against the Rockets. Had 1 3, 10 rebounds, and still 2 blocks. Of course, did his usual stuff. Xavier Tillman, do we want to hold on to him? Did absolutely nothing today. 4 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. Desmond Bane had 3 threes and 20 points. Not bad. And Tyus Jones had 14. Just hold on to Tyus Jones for 1 or 2 more games. But once Ja Morant starts, and Tyus Jones gets and also Dylan Brooks was out this game. So once Tyus Jones, 25 minutes of Tyus Jones is still great. He can give you 6, 7 assists and 3 threes. And Ja, first game back, he's going to get his 4 minutes in a game or 2. Not bad. If he's out there on waiver wire, I will pick him up, obviously. The next game, the Spurs got blown out by the Milwaukee Bucks. Shouldn't surprise anybody. But Bucks, Giannis actually did play. Okay. I mean, what we got to say about this squad? A blowout. Zach Collins in 23 minutes, he had 1 3, 7 rebounds, a steal, and block, and 1 assist in 27. He's just a great fantasy player. Next year, if the guy can get 30 minutes, he could be a top 60 player, I think. Depending on how many blocks he gets, actually. But he can be really, really great in fantasy. Jeremy Sancha played, had 13 points. Keldon Johnson is still out. Wow. Devin Vassell coming in, hit 3 threes, 2 steals and block. And also, if we draft Spurs players next year, just think about what's happening this year. This is the pain in the playoffs. All the guys play one game, sit out another. If you have enough acquisition, it's fine. But if you don't have enough acquisitions, you have a player coming in and out. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a back-to-back. Something to think about. But the thing is, other than Zach Collins and Jeremy Sancha, maybe Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, all the other guys, you just don't know if they're going to put a good line and how many minutes they're going to get. For the Bucks, not much to talk about. Easy win for them. Giannis had 31 points in 24 minutes. Chris Middleton's been starting. That's great to see. 10 assists. Drew Holiday, 8 assists, 7 points. Such an easy win, didn't matter. Right? And Joe Ingles, because the blowout, he got a few extra minutes. But if you need some assists and some threes, and some efficiency, he's a great guy, right? I remember on the Jazz days, he would give you 10 points, but 10 of those points, 2 of them are 3-pointers. Give you 5.5 assists and give you a steal. Very efficient. Kind of overlooked, but he provided pretty solid numbers. Bobby Portis had a 10 rebound game, 19 points. Okay. The next team, the Atlanta Hawks, barely lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves, 124 to 125. And the big news here is Cat is back. So if Cat is on the waiver wire somehow, she should have been picked up a while ago. But the Hawks trade 29 points and eight and they kind of need they're holding on to the 8th spot, so that's okay. Great game from okay game from Trey. 29 points, really good from the free throw line. Bogdanovich, I think we could stream him if you're looking for some points, some guard stats, and he gets some defensive stats as well for the next few games if Devontae Murray continues to be out. They have a back-to-back coming up on the weekend, so remember to stream some of these guys, like Okongwu, right? DeAndre Hunter if he needs points and threes. John Collins played okay, shot the ball well from the field, but didn't have any defensive stats. And Okongwu, of course, could be a really good streaming option if you're looking for blocks and rebounds on the weekend. For the Timberwolves, yeah, Cat is back. 22 points, 2 steals for 26 minutes. Just great stuff all around. Good to see him back. And Anthony Edwards keep getting the questionable tag. I think he's just going to be out for a little bit longer, but it's okay. They got Cat back. If you have Kyle Anderson, maybe hold on to him for one or 2 more games. Depend on their schedule, right? He's still starting somehow. He's a shooting guard. I guess it's okay. It makes sense because Cat is such a great shooter that you could still have Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert on the floor at the same time. Jaden McDaniels had added 2 blocks. That's not bad. And great game offensively with 25 points. Mike Conley, 6 assists and 13 points. And Torian Prince, with Anthony Edwards out, still got 20 minutes, but I don't really trust him in fantasy, to be honest. He had 2 good games, but I don't really trust him. The next game, the Portland Trail Blazers beat the Jazz 127-115. Okay, there are a lot of rumors saying they're going to shut down Lillard. That makes sense. But when they're going to do it, Lillard himself has to agree, yeah? 30 points, 12 assists. Obviously, Lillard is amazing, right? If you lost him, it's going to be tough for you to actually win the ship if you're still in the playoffs. But what are you going to do? Yusuf Nurkic, same thing. He could be shut down. He had a decent game here. 2 threes, so still on the block, 20 points. But if Jokic ends up sitting out, like Eubanks is the obvious streaming option. But from what we've seen, Eubanks wasn't that great. But maybe because Damian Lillard is still playing. Maybe they're going to complete tank mode. But you know who is interesting? Trent Watford is a guy we got to pay attention to. 21 points and 9 rebounds. He's not going to do this every game. But if Jeremy Grant continues to be out, sure, like he's going to get the minutes and put up some numbers. Same thing with Matisse Thybulle, right? They want to develop him as well. Defensive specialist, needless to say, great stuff. For the Jazz, they lost this game. And they need to win every single game to squeeze into that spot. The 11th, Lakers still have a half a game. And Lakers just won yesterday. A great win for the Lakers. But Taylor Horton Tucker, we could stream, right? Walker Kessler why did he only play 24 minutes? Interesting things going on. It's a close game. Chris Dunn got 23 minutes. Kelly Olynyk played 30. Yeah, they're all over the place. The minutes. But I wouldn't worry about it. It's just one game. Chris Dunn, absolutely must roster. If he's out done, we won. He only played 23 minutes, but yeah, the assist, the steals is going to be amazing. And the Jazz only have 2 games this week. Next week, I am assuming they have 4. So pick him up. Taking Horton Tucker, another guy that I would take a look. Let's go to the next game. The Phoenix Suns beat the Lakers, lost to the Lakers 112-120. Amazing win for the Lakers. Torrey Craig, 26 minutes, had 14 points, 4 threes and a block. Bismack Biyombo, these are the 2 guys. They have a back-to-back coming up on the weekend. You could consider streaming. Well, Bismack Biyombo, if DeAndre Ayton's still out. If Ayton comes back, yeah. Devin Booker played 40 minutes, but not enough, had 33 points. And Chris Paul, maybe he rests on one of the back-to-back games. We'll see what happens with Chris Paul. But none of the Suns guys, other than Biyombo, and Torrey Craig, none of the guys are that interesting to stream. There's just not enough minutes. For the Lakers, great win, led by AD. Well, AD is okay, 27 points, 9 rebounds. His efficiency has been off from the free throw line, but overall, rest of the things is decent. Austin Reeves, at this point, we'll have to pick him up. 11 assists, 25 points. He's just been playing super, super well. LeBron may not be back for another week or two, and Lakers should have a good schedule. So if he's out on the waiver wire, go pick him up, especially when you need points, threes, and some efficiency. He's great. His efficiency is great. And he's been getting to the line 13 times the last couple games. D'Lo, 26 points, hit 3 threes, 6 assists, still in 2 blocks. Continues to be great, with AD out. With LeBron out, and then a shooter, we could stream him, for some points and assists mainly, but now he just comes off the bench. If they got a back-to-back, I would stream him. Otherwise, probably not. Because D'Lo is back and starting playing 35 minutes a night. But Austin Reeves, we got to get this guy. He's really kind of carrying the team. He does have the best plus-minus. When you get to the free throw line 13 times and make 90% of them, that's huge. That's huge. That's easy points. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.